everybody, it's me, Seth Cole, preparing to present today race number 12 of the Snickers Cup Series here at Chicagoland. 27 laps of racing here today, and it's all going to come down to this race and the next three before we end up finding out what the chase is going to look like here in this series. Ford's on the front row for the first time this season, I believe. Normally, Fords don't qualify all that well, but they did here today. John Dillon going to start on the pole, and alongside him, Shane Green. If you look, the colors are very similar, and almost the design is similar between the U.S. Chrome and the Motorcraft cars. As the field goes, as I show you the starting lineup for today's race here, I'm going to take this opportunity to mention something that's very important about the second half of the season. This is when we're going to start getting in young drivers who are going to be making some of their first, maybe second, maybe third career starts here in the NNSCRA. Try to have people take notice of them for next season to maybe get full-time rides. Two of them have actually made this race. They're starting near the back. The 57 of Emilio Navarrete, I believe that's how it's pronounced, and the 44 of Connor Breton, both making this race. But there are a lot of other drivers that we have here on our drivers list that are going to be trying to make their first career Snickers Cup Series race. Tanner Sullivan is one. He ended up actually racing in the Snickers shootout, but has not made a Snickers race since then. And also we've got Bill Raymond on the list, Tony Speed. Also, another one that's on the list here that I'm seeing is Justin Johnson, who actually made his first career start last week at Lowe's. And also on the list, I'm trying to look through here, Garrett Hay, driving the number 91. There you see Connor Breton in the 44. And you'll see starting off there beside Angel Susan, the final row, is Emilio Navarrete. So these drivers going to be trying to maybe make some strides here today. Say, hey, look what we're able to do. You might want to keep your eye on us to maybe sign us to a contract next season. And it could be a big name such as Richard Childress Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, who knows. Roush Fenway Racing may take him on. So John Dillon's on the pole for today's race, though, in that number 32. Comes in mathematically still in chase contention, and he's in the top 10 standings right now. He's got to get a good finish here today. Maybe a win could help clinch himself a spot in the chase this season. You notice Kenny McCurry's quite a ways back in this field. The points leader coming into this race with quite a sizable points lead over older brother Anthony McCurry, but he may be able to clinch himself a chase spot here today if he could pick up maybe a top 5 run here at Chicagoland. But just to go with a little bit of statistics here, John Dillon, he's starting on the pole, and John Dillon has gone to victory lane here at Chicagoland 2 days ago in picking up his first NNSCRA career win and his first NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series victory, driving the number 24. So he's on the pole here. Obviously, Chicagoland a little bit to his favorite, I guess, track that he apparently enjoys racing at. And I'll tell you one driver that I am going to be watching during the course of this race, and that's Dougie Shears. 35th in the standings. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of controversy about Dougie Shears. There's actually been a lot of controversy about all three series as the command to fire the engines has been given, and these cars will now roll off and will complete a half-pace lap before they are put under the green flag. But the controversy really was that we do not have much of a chance of having back-to-back champion in any of the series. Now, Robert Band's probably the closest we have to that happening, as he is in the top 10 in the Oreo Truck Series standings, but we were talking about in one of the Mobile One Cup Series races the fact that defending champion Matthew Rodriguez is way down there trying to just barely stay inside the top 35, and it's the same story here in the Snickers Cup Series, the fact of Dougie Shears actually right on the 35th position. Obviously, he wants to stay there by the end of the season to make sure he's going to have a ride for next season and be able to be in the Daytona 500 and not have to race his way in. But going back to what I was saying, Dougie Shears, he is really in a a really critical position, and he cannot make it into the chase on wins because he doesn't have any yet this season. So he's going to be one driver we're going to be looking at both at this track and at Michigan, because those seem to be the kind of racetracks he likes. So we'll be keeping our eye on the 83 defending champion Dougie Shears here today. But it's going to be John Dillon, Shane Green, Joshua Courier there at Go Home. We're going to start off in third. Green flag is out. And John Dillon got a pretty good start there. Shane Green did not. I don't know if he spun the tires or if John Dillon just punched the throttle quicker. And the battle on for second. Let's follow that. Joshua Courier going to slide to the inside of Shane Green. And Courier's going to go to the second position. You know, I was thinking about Penske Racing. Boy, they've been having a lot of tough luck here this season. Both with the fact that both their cars are outside the top 35. Ralph Green and Joshua Courier, the 2 and the 22, both outside the top 35, having to scratch and claw their way into each and every race. As we see Arnold Columbia here, this is a battle for third. Good battle here. You can see through Richard Childress' cars right there on that inside line. Columbia, Brace, and Chambers, all of which have been to victory lane. Columbia went to victory lane in Las Vegas. Chambers went to victory lane at Daytona. Chambers went to victory lane at Talladega. In order to make it a foursome, you got John Worry back there, but he's kind of caught back in traffic there. You know, John Worry's been kind of quiet in the standings, as now Josh Courier kind of moves in on John Dillon here for the lead. Will he put a move here in turn 3? Looks like he's going to try to, but Dillon, is he going to put the pinch job? No, instead he's just going to power around on the high side, and Courier has to follow the 32 to cross the stripe once again. But going back to John Worry, he's been very quiet, and he's up there now in second in the standings. Timmy Pacioli falling to third, and John Worry, he's obviously got, John Worry is not in second. Anthony McCurry is. John Worry, I think, he's in the top 5 anyway, and I haven't really talked much about him here this season. And he's the only Richard Childress car that hasn't got a win. There you see Devin Wilson sliding his way into the 5th position there. Devin's been having a tough season of it in the Snickers Cup Series. He does have a win over in the Moldwin Cup Series. And we'll take a look here, see how our first-timers are running. There's Connor Breton. He's running pretty doggone well right now. Coming up that inside line, and he's got Emilio Navarrete right behind him. Those two trying to work their way down on that inside line. They're following the points leader, Kenny McCurry. That's a pretty safe idea, to follow wherever the points leader goes. Sorry about that. Oh, 3 wide there. Wow. Emilio Navarrete doesn't seem to be afraid of Chicagoland right here, and to go 3 wide, as he's going to just pile drive right down to the inside line and put Connor Breton in the middle. Moving up here through the field, there's John Worry. But nobody seems to yet have caught up to John Dillon. Dillon with about a car length and a half over Joshua Courier. The battle looks like it's going to be between Courier, Columbia, and Brace for that second position. Let's take a look back here, as John Brace is closing in on that third place battle. And there's Tim Pacioli. Pacioli, we were talking about him just a minute ago, how he was been on a bit of a cold streak. Well, right now he's having a pretty doggone good run. A top 5 going right here, as he's running, I think it's about the 8th position. And, 8th position unofficially in that 92. And he's trying to get back into contention. Pacioli wanting to try and battle it out for the championship here this season. Let's take a look and see if we can find out now where the 09 is running of Kenny McCurry. He is currently running way back here and trying to battle it out here with Emilio Navarrete, but it's still not really a drastic area for Kenny McCurry. But obviously, as I said, he's going to want to have a top 5 or so, and maybe that could mathematically clinch himself a spot in the chase. If not, if he finishes poorly, then it may be a whole thing altogether. There's that 4th driver in Richard Childress Racing that I was talking about, John Worry, who's actually doing pretty well in the standings. And he's doing well on the racetrack as well. And just ahead of him, a guy that came in a critical position last week at Lowe's, came away with a good finish, and he's doing the same thing here today, and that's Patrick Murphy. He's actually a rookie this season, leading the rookie standings, as a matter of fact, is the 34 Taco Bell Ford for Front Row Motorsports. But John Dillon continues to pace this field. Dillon out in front, Columbia there in second. Look at this battle back here, 3 wide for third. Devin Wilson down low, John Brace in the middle, and Joshua Courier suddenly starting to fade from view, as he's going to get by bypassed there. And look at the 27 of Adam Chambers. Look at the run he's getting right here. He may go 4 wide. He's going to bypass Courier, bypass Brace, and he almost made a move on the inside of Devin Wilson, but man, fast race car there for Adam Chambers, and he is in the top 10 standings right now, but obviously a second win here today could help him. There's Jake Berg, and if ever a season has gone wrong for a driver, it's been for Jake Berg. I would say that almost every single time that we have a race, I'm always calling the 20 car as a wrecked race car because he just seems to always be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but he's doing pretty well here. And now we may have a battle on for the lead. Arnold Columbia has closed in on John Dillon. You know, John Dillon almost went to victory lane at Bullet Super Speedway early on this season, but ended up getting passed by Timmy Pacioli on the final lap and ended up finishing in second. And it seems like Bridesmaid is the label we have to put onto John Dillon because he has been so close so many times ever since he made his debut last season in season 1 in the second half of the season. He was always getting good qualifying positions, and he would be up at the front almost leading the race a lot of times, but the big problem for him was he just never could capitalize at the end of the race. At the end of the race he was always sliding back, and he would obviously come away with good finishes, but obviously he would love to have had those wins. And there's the drive that he actually drove last season, that 27 of Chambers, Jake Berg, and here's a good battle. Evan Nugent right there in the middle of that with Tim Pacioli and Devin Wilson. Nugent's been to victory lane this year, came at Phoenix, but Nugent, it's been a while since we've seen him in victory lane, and a while since we've seen him running up here at the front, and a good run today for that number 47 from JTG Daugherty Racing. Yes, he's going to try and maybe make a move here on Timmy Pacioli. And still, it is John Dillon all by himself. Oh, I think the caution may be out. No caution. Alright, so it is still John Dillon, then Arnold Columbia, then Adam Chambers back there in third, Jake Berg trying to close in for that spot. And, I'll tell you what, Joe Gibbs Racing, we were talking about Roger Penske Racing having a tough time. You probably labeled Joe Gibbs Racing as a team that's really been hurting lately as well. Jordan Hesder, Lisa Shears, both outside the top 35. Jake Berg trying to hold on for dear life. Here's Connor Breton. He's still running back there in the back of the pack, not really making strides. But I'll tell you one driver that is, as we take a look here at the 57 of Emilio Navarrete. And I was just being told that he is just fighting his way up through the field here. Let's take a look and see where that 57 is indeed running. Oh man, look at that. 15th position there. And actually going to cross. Picked up more spots there. Oh, the caution's out now. Yellow lights are out on those. Caution lights are blinking. And, there's our points leader, Kenny McCurry. Noah Cars is involved. There's Robert Bann, Dougie Shears, Alex Lozano, Daniel Schwab, Ziggy Bainsmoke in there, left side of your screen. Matthew Rodriguez may have been involved as well. Seeing someone smoke further up, that may be the 17. It is indeed Christian James. Also damage to Jordan Hesder. Jack Richards is damaged. And I thought I saw Anthony McCurry back there as well. Here comes Joshua Courier. Oh man, he started in third. Jake Cole on pit road. I'm pretty certain that Angel De Souza's involved. I thought I saw Anthony McCurry on pit road though. I may be wrong, but I thought I saw the AMP car come down pit road. And that would be drivers that are first and second in the standings, if that's the case. There you see Lozano. There you see Robert Bann. What's left of their race cars. Jack Richards coming down pit road now in that Quaker State Chevrolet. Oh boy, a lot of cars involved here. And I would say this was there's Anthony McCurry. I told you I thought he was involved in something. But this involves drivers first and second in the standings here. And I'd say this was a wreck that started from about 15th position on back. But Kenny McCurry, the points leader, Anthony McCurry, second in the standings. They are involved as John Dillon paces the field here at Chicagoland. Let's take a look at a replay. Okay, taking a look here at our points leader, Kenny McCurry. He may have been near the source of this. There you go, right there. I think Ziggy Bain went up, and Dougie Shears came down, and obviously that's not going to work out so well. They're going to touch, make contact, come down the racetrack. And they get Kenny McCurry right there. And it just sends him up the racetrack. And watch the impact that defending champion Dougie Shears is going to take right there. That car, yeah, it does get airborne. Not terribly airborne, though. And you see Anthony McCurry. Oh, he just gets a little piece of his brother right there. Joshua Courier nowhere to go as he hits the 83 of Dougie Shears. Anthony McCurry is smoking there right there when he spins around. Shane Green. Jack Nathan got some of that as well. Alex Lozano into the back of Ziggy Bain. And something happened further up here, because I'm seeing some drivers here that were involved, like Daniel Schwab there, Jordan Hester. They were involved in a wreck further up. Jack Richards, Christian James also were involved. Let's take a look at another camera angle, see if we can find out what happened to those drivers on the front stretch. Alright, so this is after Dougie Shears and Kenny McCurry and Ziggy Bain have all gone up the racetrack. Anthony McCurry's already made contact with his younger brother. Harold Columbia gets a little piece of Kenny McCurry right there. There you see Lozano nails into the back of Ziggy Bain, sends him up into Noel Stiller. Okay. I thought that was Jack Nathan he got. Look at Connor Breton on the brakes. They're trying to miss this whole thing. Jake Cole trying to miss it as well. He does get involved further up, though. Just squeaked by Alex Lozano. And let's take a look at another camera angle, see if we can find out. Apparently that wreck just continued on and on. Oh, look at Noah Carson to the back of Alex Lozano there. But let's take a look at another camera angle here. Alright, so the car that actually got the hardest hits was Anthony McCurry. After all this, there you see Robert Ban, nowhere to go. Angel D'Souza, nowhere to go. Into both Ban and McCurry. And then Daniel Schwab, Jordan Hester. There you see Jake Cole, Christian James. They get into McCurry right there. Nick Eggleston also gets a piece of it right there in the 37. And Matthew Rodriguez gets some of it. And Daniel Schwab, I think he may have gotten turned by Jack Richards and sent up the racetrack. No, he didn't. He and Jordan Hester made contact. And they go up and they get the outside retaining wall right there. So that's pretty much it from what I'm able to tell. And Hester gets another piece of it right there. Matthew Rodriguez and Connor Breton both did a good job. Well, no, Matthew did get a piece of it, but Connor Breton did a good job getting through that wreck. But here we go back to green flag racing here at Chicagoland. Well, obviously the casualty list has come out for drivers that are out of this race, and we're going to show them to you. Hope that you know your number, because it's going to be shown here on the top right of your screen of drivers that are out of this race. If you have a lap down looking thing on there, that means you're out of the race. And look at right there, the 09 of Kenny McCurry, dead last is where he's going to finish today's race. How's that going to play out? And Anthony McCurry out of this race, so that may play into the hands of drivers such as John Worry and Timmy Pacioli, who could, with a good run today, end up leaving possibly as the points leader in the Snickers Cup Series. Anyway, yeah, there you go. There's John Worry. We're going to focus our camera on him. He has an opportunity here to go to Daytona as the points leader. Looking through the field here at the cars where they're going to restart this race. Look at T.O. Bain. Good run for him right now in that 48. I'll tell you what, I've been pretty impressed with T.O. Bain. He's had a tough time qualifying for both the Oreo Truck Series and the Mobile One Cup Series. He's outside the top 35 in both those series, but he is inside the top 35 in the Snickers Cup Series, and he has used that to his advantage. He's been putting together a string of excellent finishes in that number 48, even picked up the pole last week at Lowe's in that 48, so he is doing a pretty doggone good job in that number 48, putting it inside the top 35 here in the Snickers Cup Series, and that ensures him getting into every single race here in the Snickers Cup Series, as we will go back to green flag racing. And we've only got a handful of laps left to go here, folks. And both John Dillon and Arnold Columbia got good restarts, and Columbia's going to challenge to the inside. Now, John Dillon was able to fend off Joshua Courier. Will he be able to do that here? Arnold Columbia draws even. Chambers is back there along with Jake Berg, waiting if Columbia can make the pass, and he does. Columbia is the new leader here at Chicagoland. He already has a win this season. That came at Las Vegas, but he is already in the chase as well. He ended up finishing second in the NNSCRA NR 2003 contest, which clinched himself a spot in both this chase and the Mobile One Cup Series chase, but a second win here definitely wouldn't hurt. Chambers, his teammate, closing in there. Good battle on there for third. Devin Wilson. I believe that's Devin Wilson trying to get to the inside of Jake Berg. Now he'll lay off, and now he's under fire from Evan Nugent for that fifth position. And there's Patrick Murphy, still a player in this whole thing. And I'll tell you what, he could very likely be like Dougie Shears in the Craftsman Car Series Season 2, a rookie in the chase that really could make some noise, especially on the major roll he's been on right now as far as his good finishes. Alright, so now it is Chambers in second behind his teammate Arnold Columbia. Jake Berg there in third, and then quite a gap back there to Evan Nugent, who runs currently in the fourth position. Columbia in that 31 car. This is a pretty good run for him. There's John Worry. We're following him because he could possibly leave as the points leader. He's trying to work his way up through the field here right now in that 33 Cheerios Hamburger Helper Chevrolet. If he can pick up a few more spots, he could mathematically leave as points leader. And of course, you see Timmy Pacioli back there as well, about 2 cars back or so. He's trying to pick up some spots here in the standings as well, due to the fact that the McCurry brothers were taken out in that last wreck. And here we go. Arnold Columbia, who made that pass on John Dillon, will receive the white flag. Jake Berg, Arnold, and Adam Chambers going to try and run him down here. Columbia looking for win number 2 this season in that number 31. If he does pick up the win, it'd be the 4th win this season for Richard Childress. They've got 1 with John Brace, 1 with Adam Chambers, and this would be 2 with Adam Chambers. Jake Berg trying to close in. Can he do it off turn 4 for the final time? It is Arnold Columbia picking up win number 2 on the season in that number 31, and this may clinch himself a spot in the chase anyway, regardless of the fact that he finished second in that NR 2003 contest. Now, where did John Worry finish? Was it good enough to be able to take the points lead? Let's take a look. John Worry finishing, looks like in 10th position. No, 9th. He finishes in the 9th position. And John Worry may lead the points leader. We'll find out. John Dillon, shame for him. He's going to finish in 11th after leading them down to the final restart. But congratulations to Arnold Columbia picking up win number 2. Here come the finishing order and the standings as we will head next time for race weekend number 13 at Daytona International Speedway. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, now merged with the NCG MRS.